The story of Luz, the forbidden affair of a singer in Mexico. So have you heard about Luz? This woman has a voice that soothes even the most restless souls. She sings in a little bar in the interior of Mexico, in a small place that doesn't even appear on the most detailed maps. But let me tell you, it's there that the most unexpected things happen. Well, Luz, she's one of those women that once you see her, you can't take your eyes off her. Dark-skinned, with long, wavy hair that falls like a black waterfall down her back, and eyes that, well, seem to draw everything around them in. When she sings, there's not a person in the audience who doesn't stop to listen. And it's not just because she sings well, because she puts her heart into every note, as if each song were the last. However, her life wasn't all about applause and spotlights. In fact, what few people knew was that Luz had a secret passion. She loved, but not in the way you might be thinking. It wasn't a traditional love, the kind that society expects. It was a forbidden love. Luz was in love with another woman, a girl named Isabel. The sweet smile and a gaze that made Luz's heart skip a beat. But before you start imagining a modern fairy tale, let me tell you that Luz's life was far from simple. As in the middle of this love story, there was a man. And this man, my friend, was none other than the city councilor. A man of influence, power, with a smile that charmed those who didn't know him well. He was used to getting everything he wanted, and when he saw Luz singing in that little bar for the first time, he decided he wanted her. And for him, no was never an acceptable answer. His name was Sebastian, one of those politicians who liked to be loved by the people, but behind the scenes wouldn't think twice about using power to get what he wanted. He started frequenting the bar where Luz sang. At first, she didn't pay much attention to him, To her, Sebastian was just another influential guy who liked to show off. But he started to insist. He sent flowers, left notes, and after each performance, made a point of getting close, of complimenting her, of touching her hand in a way that felt more like an act of possession than of affection. Luz, who didn't want trouble, eventually gave in. Not out of love, not out of interest, but because, well, the guy was a counselor, right? She knew that saying no could mean trouble, and big ones. Sebastian was the kind of man who didn't know how to handle rejection, and Luz had Isabel to protect. She knew that if this affair with Sebastian came to light, it could harm not only her career, but also the woman she loved. And Luz couldn't allow that to happen under any circumstance. And so, the affair between them began. Luz met with him in secret, in roadside hotels, in vacation homes, wherever they couldn't be seen together. She hated every second of it, but pretended otherwise. She used the same talent she had for singing in her lies. They smiled together for the cameras when necessary, but inside, Luz felt trapped in a golden cage. It was a suffocating situation, and she knew it couldn't last forever. Meanwhile, her heart still belonged to Isabel. Every moment with her was a relief, an escape from the suffocating reality she lived in. But as you can imagine, hiding love is like trying to hold water in your hands. It eventually slips through your fingers, and that's what happened. Sebastian, of course, began to notice that Luz wasn't fully present with him. He wasn't stupid, nor blind. And when he finally discovered Isabel, Luz's world came crashing down. The mask fell, and the fake smile he wore at public meetings gave way to a rage she had never seen before. He confronted her, but not in private. No, he made sure to humiliate her in front of others, to remind her that he was the man everyone respected, and that she, a mere bar singer, could never challenge him. Luz knew she was in a dangerous situation. Sebastian threatened not only to ruin her career, but also to harm Isabel's life. And if there was one thing Luz couldn't bear, it was seeing the person she loved in danger. She tried to end the affair amicably, but Sebastian wasn't the type to accept defeat. So Luz, seeing no other way out, decided to do something risky. She used the same storytelling talent she used on stage and started recording everything. Every conversation, every threat, every meeting. She knew she was playing with fire, but, when it's for the love of your life, you'll do anything, right? With the recordings in hand, Luz approached a journalist in the capital, someone she knew wasn't afraid to stand up to the powerful. It was a risky move, but, as they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? She knew that once the story hit the media, Sebastian couldn't do anything to her or Isabel without suspicion falling on him. And that's exactly what happened. When the recordings were released, it was a scandal. Sebastian tried to deny it, of course, but the truth was there. In every recorded word, in every threat. People who once saw him as a hero turned against him. And in the end, he fell, losing the power he cherished so much. Luz, on the other hand, was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. She knew the fight hadn't been easy. She had managed to protect the love of her life. She continued singing, as she always had, but now without the shadow of Sebastian haunting her. And Isabel? Isabel was by her side the whole time. The two of them, together, faced everything and everyone, and in the end, their love prevailed. Luz never again had to hide who she was or whom she loved. And on those peaceful nights at the little bar, when the audience applauded her songs, she knew that every note she sang was a celebration of the freedom she had. Well, Luz never again had to hide who she was or whom she loved. They moved to a small coastal town where they opened a little bar together. Life seemed perfect, but the longing for their hometown was strong. So they decided to return to the city where it all began. They renovated the old bar and turned it into a cultural center, where they hosted shows, workshops, and art exhibitions. The city became a cultural hub, and Luz and Isabel, the local heroines, were celebrated by all. Kisses, everyone, and until next time.